What's up, YouTubers? Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Follow the Money. Today, we're going to talk about a new feature on IRS.gov, the IRS website that can help you locate a lost or missing or even file a claim for a damaged stimulus check. Okay, so if you still have not received your second round of stimulus checks, you may or may not be able to use this feature. Let's see what is involved here with this feature, guys. I think it's great because it's going to help people narrow down which of the numerous issues that could possibly affecting them from getting their stimulus check in a timely manner, okay? We already know that Liberty Tax, Jackson Hewitt, and a few of the tax service companies here are waiting on January 25th because they sent the funds they received from the IRS mistakenly for individual stimulus checks, and they sent it back to the IRS. The IRS is doing a few things. They're not able to update their system to reissue those checks until January 25th. And I heard the golden week for people who are still waiting from Liberty Tax and Jackson Hewitt is going to be between January 25th and February 1st. So just keep that in mind. Now, how do I request a payment trace to track my economic impact payment? The newest question on the Q&A on the IRS.gov website. Okay, guys? So if your payment was issued by direct deposit, your first step is to check with your bank and make sure they didn't receive a deposit. Duh. Okay, we've already done that. You should only request a payment trace to track your payment if you received notice 1444 or if Get My Payment shows your payment was issued and you have not received it within the time frames below. Before we discuss the time frames, form or notice 1444 is a notice that you get in the mail from the IRS telling you that you have already received your stimulus payment. Either they mailed it or deposited it into your account. Their records show that it's done with. You can't request it on your recovery rebate because they're saying that they already sent it to you. Okay, so if you didn't get that 1444 form in the mail, you cannot request a stimulus payment trace. Because if you didn't receive it, it means that they're already aware you don't have your money and they're working on getting it to you. Okay, now here's the time frames that you need to look out for. So you've received your 1444 statement and now you have to wait till a certain time to be able to file the official trace. So 5 days since the deposit date in Get My Payment tool on the IRS website, and the bank says they haven't received it. So for example, if you go on to Get My Payment tool and it says that your stimulus check was deposited on January 8th, it's January 18th right now, it's well over 5 business days, and your bank said they haven't received it either, then that's the time frame right there that should raise a red flag, and you may be a candidate eligible to request a stimulus trace, okay? So 5 days since the deposit, 4 weeks since it was mailed by check to a standard address. So if they said they mailed it on January 8th, technically it could take up until February 8th for you to receive it, okay? Now, originally, I thought they put on their website the timeline was 10 days. Now it's a whole 30 days, a whole month. Interesting. Okay, so the next timeline frame here is the 6 weeks since it was mailed and you haven't received it to a address you forwarded with the local post office. So if you moved and you had to forward your address with the post office, it could take actually 6 weeks for you to receive your check. So if that's the case, you have to wait after the 6-week mark of when they said they mailed it out, if you had a forwarding address. The last one here is 9 weeks since it was mailed and you have a foreign address. So if you're in another country for business, leisure, or whatever reason right now, and you're not in the United States and you're expecting a check in the mail to the other country, 9 weeks. You have 9 weeks to not receive it, and then you can file a trace. And of course, that's after you receive that 1444 letter or notice in the mail, you guys. So Keep that in mind. So if you have a foreign address, by the way, there may be international service disruptions at the United States Postal Service or the foreign country you are in due to COVID-19 pandemic. See your local USPS service alerts page and check with your local consulate for more information to see if all that's going on in the world is affecting the mail as well. But no one living in a foreign country or they're visiting, I mean, they just started mailing out checks, the first week or January 8th, I believe. So you wouldn't even be able to wait, and you'd have to wait until the end of February to even contact the IRS to ask a question. Because if you do, they're just going to tell you have to wait that full 9 weeks, or the full 5 days, or the full 4 weeks, or 6 weeks, whatever your situation is, you guys, okay? So do not request a payment trace to determine if you are eligible for a payment, okay? They will hang up on you. That's not what they're for. Eligibility has nothing to do with the trace. Do not request a payment trace to confirm the amount of payment you should have received. That, again, tracing is for lost payments only. They don't tell you your eligibility, and they don't tell you how much you should receive, okay? So this is how the IRS will process your trace claim. We will process your claim for a missing payment in one of the following ways. If the check was not cashed, we will issue a replacement. If you find the original check, you must return it as soon as possible to the IRS. If the refund check was cashed and they were able to confirm that, the Bureau of the Fiscal Service, which they call BFS, will send you a claim package that includes a copy of the cash check. Follow the instructions. BFS will review your claim and the signature on the canceled check before determining whether they can issue you a replacement check. To start a payment trace, you can call the IRS at 1-800-919-9835. You can mail or fax a completed form. The form name is called the 3911 Taxpayer Statement Regarding Refund Form, okay? To complete the form, you will write EIP on the top of the form. That stands for economic stimulus payment or some sort of economic impact payment, my bad. And then you want to complete the form answering all refund questions as it relate to your economic impact payment. When completing item 7 under section 1, you want to check the box for individual as a type of return, enter 2020 as a tax period. 2020, why not 2019? Interesting, okay. Do not write anything for the date filed. Sign the form if you file married. Filing joint, both spouses must sign the form. Okay, so if you're married, both spouses must sign. Single, just you sign. Remember, do not put a file date for your 2020 taxes because most people can't even file their taxes until February 12th. The IRS is not accepting 2020 tax returns until February 12th this year, you guys. It's good to know. You will generally receive a response once you submit your trace request within 6 weeks after the payment trace request. Okay, so it takes them 6 weeks to respond to you after they receive your request for a trace, but there may be delays due to limited staffing. So get up to date statuses. Do not mail form 3911 if you have already requested a trace by phone. Obviously, everybody's going to want to do a trace by phone. So, yeah. It's probably going to be long hold times for that. So if you're impatient like me and you want to just do the form, but you do have an option to call or send the form. Okay, mail or fax the form to, so you have to go to irs.gov and go to the Q&A and look at the how to trace your stimulus payment question. The answer will give you all of the phone numbers according to your state, for faxing. Okay, if you want to fax the form, they'll give you all the fax phone numbers. All right, depending on what state you live in. So I just wanted to give a quick update on that, you guys. Again, as far as the stimulus check status for the third check for $1,400, Biden is not even inaugurated yet. So we need to hold our horses, right? But if you were listening to the other videos, I did tell you that the unemployment will run out in mid-March 2021, and they always want to pass another stimulus bill before unemployment runs out to avoid total chaos. So I'm thinking expect your next stimulus in March. I don't think they're going to be able to move on it so that you get it in February. I highly doubt that, but I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. The sooner the better, right? All right, you guys, if you have any questions, let me know your experience so far. Have you used the trace option yet? I know it's very new.